or the voice pullout that has been published, which is the pullout in this Daily Nation newspaper, and it talks about the hope meets opportunity, and what when you hoping for something and then opportunity comes. So that is a story published on the Voice, that is the DN2, the Voice pullout in this Daily Nation magazine. Elsewhere on page 10, they're talking about EACC. Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. The Kenya needs 200,000 more police officers. That is as per the reports of EACC. They are saying that the government or Kenya needs 200,000 more police officers. That's a story published on page 10, and maybe you can grab the daily newspaper so that you can be able to see and know the reasons why is it that they are saying, the EACC are saying that Kenya needs 200,000 police officers, and that is where you're going to be able to find the reasons to why they are saying that. Remember, the key headline on the Daily Nation, they're talking about the bishops fix schools crisis and hospital goose. That is government cleric one faith-based health facilities may shut down due to NHIF debts and also SHA debts. And as we move on to the next paper, that is a newspaper, the People's Daily. This is a story. They are talking about the clicks versus votes. All right, what they are terming as the clicks versus votes. That's the difference of the two, the meaning of the two words. There is votes, and also there's some of the clicks here and there. They're saying that the battle for crowds begins, but do cheers translate to votes? That's a question they're asking. The battle for crowds begins. Whenever either the politicians are gathering or are having a meeting somewhere else, you will find that there is huge crowds there. But the question is, does cheers translate to votes whenever a politician is having those crowds there, and also they are cheering him either positively or negatively? And then the question is, does this translate to votes? A question. Maybe it is answered in this newspaper. And on the photo there, we are seeing the president, William Samoei Ruto, on his tour to Kambani, that is now getting to the third day. And actually, yes, it's the third day today on Friday. And there is a lot that he had promised the people of Kambani, and some of the projects that were launched yesterday and the other day, that is on Tuesday, that is on Wednesday, and also yesterday, Thursday, and today on Friday. He is expected to be having those rallies around some constituencies and also in the counties of Kambani, and they're asking questions. Does the cheers translate to votes? A big question asked there. Maybe whenever you grab this newspaper, you can be able to go through it. And by the way, is it that does it turn to votes? Anyway, talking about politics, sometimes politicians understand more than we do, but from the look of things, we are involving the way we are doing things as Kenyans, and also the way and what the Kenyans want more so, the Gen Z and other related and other related nationmen here in the country. Elsewhere, page 5, Ukambani at crossroads, that is power, royalty, and the politics of change. That is a story published on page 5, asking that Ukambani on crossroads, which way to follow. Will they follow the opposition or follow the government or get into the government? And it's a question that is asked, talking about the power, royalty, and the politics of change in the area. Remember yesterday when the Labour CS Alfred Mutua was giving his speech in the area that is in Kitui, he mentioned about he mentioned some of the leaders who were there before him and others like Kalonzo Musyoka, and mentioned them and asking the people of Kambani that all those people were in government, and maybe sometimes here in the middle they got off the government, and he was asking if they are going still to stay out of the government, or would they be inside the government to ensure that they are getting what what other people are getting in some of the parts of the country. And elsewhere, on the top of this newspaper, it's a story published on page 8, and they're talking about why Trans Nzoia could define Kenyan's 2027 presidential race. It is a story published on page 8 talking about why Trans Nzoia County could define Kenyan's 2027 presidential race. And maybe if you are wondering where they are talking about Trans Nzoia, remember Trans Nzoia, that is where the governor George Natembeya comes from, and George Natembeya has been lately seen to be somebody who is trying to get the people of Western Kenya to be united, and also maybe to vote as a bloc towards towards making change in 2027. And that is why the story published on page 8 talking about why Trans Nzoia could define Kenyan's 2027 presidential race. It's a story that when you grab the People's Daily newspaper, then you can be able to go through it. And remember, the People's Daily talks about people and politics, and also behind silence, what happens. Remember, the key headline they are talking about is the clicks versus the votes. The battle for crowds begins, and they're asking a question, but do cheers translate to votes? Also, it's a question I'm asking myself, and also actually asking you, and you can keep the conversation going via our social media platforms, that is Indizi TV Africa, and also elsewhere on our SMS number 21575. Not forgetting our WhatsApp number 0711 19 98 90. That is where you can keep the conversation going. Moving on to the Star newspaper, talking about the Weekend Star. The headline there talking about Ruto darling foray into opposition path in two-term bid. That is the headline that is given in this that is the Star newspaper, talking about President in Daredevil move Goose Kalonzo Gachagua support bases. And they are talking about the Ruto darling for daring foray into opposition path, that is in two-term bid, trying to get his second term, as we wait to see what is going to transpire in the 2027 general elections. That is what they are timing, and that is the story published on page 4 and also page 5 and elsewhere. This is a story published on the same newspaper, talking about NCIC sounds alarm over emerging authorized gangsters tumbling French eradication. That is a story published on the Star newspaper. And elsewhere, we can be able to see the pictures from what was happening in Mombasa. That is ODM bigwigs arrive in Mombasa ahead of the 20th anniversary celebrations. A story also published in the Star or the Weekend Star. And the celebrations will kicked yesterday, and they will be done until Sunday this week. And elsewhere, on the top of this newspaper is a pullout about politics, that they are calling it siasa. And Kalonzo faces tough hassles in campaign to inherit Raila's base. That is a story published in the pullout, that is siasa. And there we are seeing that Kalonzo is facing some tough hurdles in campaign to inherit Raila bases. He is trying to get the areas that Raila, the former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, was darling to many, and trying to get those areas to grasp them, that they can be able to support him. And elsewhere, under the news side, that they said the toured by promises, how Kenyans are sold into slavery. Ruled by promises. They're talking about ruled by promises and how Kenyans are sold to slavery. It's a story published on the Star newspaper, and the picture of the Prime Cabinet Secretary and also the Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs, Musalia Mudavadi, and talking about the Kenyans either who go to work abroad, and they're saying that maybe they are being sold or ruled by promises, given promises, and how Kenyans are sold into slavery. The stories that you can be able to find on the Weekend Star, that is the Star newspaper. And lastly, we have the report that the KNH murder suspect suspect is mentally unfit to stand in court, that is to be tried. That's a story also published on the Weekend Star of the Star newspaper. As we move on to Taifa Leo, we're going to be able to see some of the stories published on the Taifa Leo newspaper. And if we start is that serikali kibogoyo. Serikali kibogoyo. Nafahamu kwamba wewe unafahamu kibogoyo ni mtu aina gani. Na pale unasaja kwamba mamia ya wajakazi wameuawa Uarabuni, wanaharakati wakiteswa Tanzania na Uganda, serikali ikichitia hamnazo. Ni taarifa ambazo zimechapishwa katika gazeti hili la Taifa Leo, na pale wanataja kwamba viongozi wa kisiasa nchini wanajitokeza kama wasiojali usalama wa raia, huku wakisalia kimya, Wakenya wakiumia ugenini. Pia kumekuwa na vitisho kutoka kwa nchi jirani kuhusu masuala yanayoweza kufuruga uhusiano mwema wa kidiplomasia. Rais wa Uganda Yoweri Museveni ndiye kiongozi wa hivi punde zaidi kudhalilisha Kenya na hata kutishia vita, huku serikali ikionekana kutochukua swala hilo kwa uzito. Taarifa ambazo zimechapishwa katika ukurasa wa pili. Kumbuka kwamba hivi majuzi rais wa Uganda Yoweri Museveni anataja kwamba hata yeye ile Indian Ocean ni yake, anahitaji, na bila shaka kusema amekuwa akifanya mazungumzo na baadhi ya viongozi humu nchini, na kila baada ya miaka 10 mabadiliko yanafanyika. Na pala akisema kwamba kama basi mnabadilisha viongozi kila baada ya miaka 10, si basi tutie sahihi makubaliano ndiposa sisi tuendelee kufanya shughuli. Na akitaja kwamba huenda atakujia ama ataendea mwenyewe ile Indian Ocean kuichukua chiza ambavyo alitamka katika matamshi yale ambayo aliyatoa pale. Na huku viongozi hapa nchini Kenya wakionekana kwamba hawajui kuzungumza ama swala hili hawajalichukulia na uzito wowote ule, na kitu ambacho kinaonekana kwamba huenda lemaza mahusiano ya kidiplomasia kati ya nchi hizi za Afrika Mashariki, nchi ya Kenya, Uganda na pia Tanzania, na kile ambacho tumekuwa tukikiona katika matukio ya hivi majuzi. Tukisongesha upande wa juu kidogo, picha ambayo tunaona pale ni baadhi ya wanaharakati Bob Njagi na Nicholas Oyo, wale ambao walitekwa pale Uganda, na bila shaka baadaye rais wa Uganda akaweza kutamka na kusema kwamba ni kweli tulikuwa tumewateka, na bila shaka tulikuwa tumewaweka katika fridge kidogo. Na ni taarifa ambazo zimechapishwa katika ukurasa wa pili wa gazeti hili la Taifa Leo. Kwingineko ni kwamba vidokezo zaidi kuhusiana na kile ambacho kimechapishwa katika gazeti hili la Taifa Leo ni kwamba awawa kwa deni la shilingi 50 na rafikiye. Ni taarifa ambazo zimechapishwa katika ukurasa wa 4. Mauaji ambayo yaliripotiwa pale jana. Jacob Maina aliaga dunia papo hapo baada ya kuvamiwa na kudungwa kisu, na yule ambaye anatajwa kwamba alikuwa amempatia shilingi 50 ambazo alishindwa kurejesha, kisha baadaye alimvamia huyu Jacob Maina kwa kumdunga kisu naye akaiaga dunia. Taarifa ambazo zimechapishwa katika ukurasa wa 4, na pale inaonyesha bayana wazi ni kipi kile ambacho Wakenya wanapitia haswa wakati maisha yamekuwa magumu. Unaona kwamba mtu anauawa kwa shilingi 50 peke yake. Na kwingineko ukurasa wa 4 huo ni kwamba magavana waanikwa kwa ukabila. Ni vigumu kwa watu wasiotaka ama wasiotoka kaunti za Bomet, Kirinyaga, Samburu kuajiriwa huko, ikiwa ni ripoti ambayo ilikuwa imetolewa katika ukurasa wa 4 kwamba ni vigumu sana kwa watu wasiotoka katika kaunti ya Bomet, Kirinyaga na Samburu kuachiliwa katika kaunti hizo. Ripoti ambayo inaonyesha kwamba kuna ukabila mwingi humu nchini Kenya, haswa katika kaunti ile ya Bomet, kaunti ya Kirinyaga na bila shaka Samburu, ikiwa ni zile ambazo tatu zimeonekana kwamba zinazo idadi ama zina eneza ukabila zaidi, haswa kwa kuwapa kazi wakazi wa maeneo hayo. Ikiwa kwamba wewe hujatoka katika kaunti hiyo ama kaunti hizo, utakuwa na ugumu sana kupata kazi katika afisi za kaunti hizo. Kwingineko, ukurasa wa 8 ni taarifa za kimataifa, pale wakitaja kwamba Kir hachoki kutimua, afuta naibu, ikiwa kwamba ni rais wa Sudani Kusini, atimua naibu wake, gavana wa benki kuu na mkuu wa ukusanyaji ushuru. Ni taarifa ambazo zimechapishwa katika ukurasa wa 8, kila ambacho kinaendelea katika nchi ile ya South Sudan ama Sudani Kusini, huku naibu wa rais akitimuliwa na bila shaka gavana wa benki kuu na mkuu wa ukusanyaji ushuru pale nchi ile ya Sudan Kusini. Na kwingineko, upande wa juu wa gazeti hili la Taifa Leo, ukurasa wa 3, kile ambacho kimeangaziwa pale ni kwamba askofu ashambulia ODM vikali, akashifu ushirikiano wa ODM na utawala wa Rais William Samoei Ruto. Ni taarifa ambazo zimechapishwa katika ukurasa wa 3. Ikiwa kwamba hujayaona hayo mitandaoni, basi ndio haya yamechapishwa katika ukurasa wa 3 katika gazeti hili la Taifa Leo, huku askofu huyu akishambulia vikali ODM, akikashifu ushirikiano wa ODM na utawala wa rais wa sasa William Samoei Ruto. Na katika ukurasa wa 20 pale ni masuala ya kispoti, ambako tunaona kwamba wanasema kwamba fataki Poland, Uholanzi wakivaana, Uholanzi walenga kuendeleza ubabe wao dhidi ya Poland. Kia kwamba ni taarifa za michezo ambazo zimechapishwa katika ukurasa wa 20, kila ambacho kimekuwa kikiendelea katika fani hiyo ya sport. Baadaye nitakuwa nikiangazia pale, nikienda kutamatisha, nitakuwa nikiangazia ni kipi kile ambacho kinaendelea na ni michezo gani ile ambayo inatarajiwa kuchezwa weekend hii, iwe ni UEFA, iwe ni EPL na ile hapa nyumbani. Nikipata nafasi nitakuwa nikikufahamisha. Hayo ni baadhi tu za habari ambazo zimechapishwa katika gazeti hili la Taifa Leo, being that there is a lot that has been published here and there, then talking about the government that is silenced, that can't doesn't know how to talk about anything. That is the story published on page 2 of Taifa Leo, talking about serikali kibogoyo, ikiwa ni waziwazi ama baadhi ya Wakenya ama watetezi wameuawa Uarabuni, wafanyakazi ama wachakazi wameuawa Uarabuni, hamuna chochote kile ambacho serikali imesema. Wanaharakati wamepata mateso pale Tanzania na nchi ya Uganda, huku serikali ikichitia hamnazo, ikitaja kwamba it's a government that doesn't know how to speak out. And that's some of the stories published on the Taifa Leo newspaper. And when you grab one, you can be able to go through those stories. Lastly, on to the Business Daily. They're talking about SportPesa risks freeze in owner's fresh path toll. That is a story published on this newspaper, talking about the Paul Ondungu once milestone denied SportPesa brand, and also court told gaming trademark transferred fraudulently. That is a story published talking about how SportPesa is risking to be frozen in owner's fresh battle. A story published by Sam Kiblagat, talking about the valuable SportPesa gaming trademark. The valuable SportPesa gaming trademark faces a legal challenge after a fresh suit was filed in court alleging fraudulent transfers of the brand ownership, tax evasion, and also the forgery that has been mentioned. And also the businessman Paul Ndungu asked the High Court to issue orders stopping Milestone Games, which is associated with his former partner's turned rival from using the SportPesa trademark pending the determination of the matter. And also the registrar of the trademarks has been dragged into the case for facilitating the alleged fraudulent transfers of 2 trademarks from Befan's East African to UK-based SportPesa Global Holdings Limited, that is SPGH, for 1,000, that is 100,000 pounds, that is equivalent to 17.3 million shillings each. And here they're saying that Paul Ndungu, one of the shareholders of the Befan East African Limited, has filed a suit at the Registrar of Trademarks, which has quashed the judicial power, seeking to reverse the sale, citing fraud, forgery, and he sought to have the brand reinstated to Befani East Africa and terming the transfer to SPGHL and also eventually to Milestone Games. That's a story published on page 2 of this business diary. They're talking about the battles between SportPesa and also that is and also the ownership, and it's free and it's risking to be frozen if the battle that is in court is going to either to favor or to be given a determination. And elsewhere there's a story published there about Njeri Jomo, talking about Jerry Jomo's route on the top was typically, and she did not go to university, but she went into insurance earlier, even though she hardly had any idea what insurance was, and what began as something that was temporarily turned out fascinating, the idea of transferring risks. That is through the referral, she approached an organization that told her they had no vacancies. That is a story about Njeri Jomo, about when he ventured into insurance business and what went on and on every day until she made it in life. You know, sometimes these are some stories that inspire us or inspire you whenever you are thinking of starting business. That is a story published on page 19 in or on the Business Daily newspaper. On the ticker side, the stories there, the Kenya pipeline to set up oil spillage dams to avert disasters. That's a story published on page 5, talking about the economy. And also the Kenya Pipeline Company KBC will set up dams to contain oil spills in a bid to avert tragic incidences that have in the past cost the firm billions of shillings. That is they're trying to evade and also try to avoid what is termed to be the high costs and also the tragic incidences whenever the oil is spilling. And elsewhere on page 6, talking about the Cooperative Bank declares first interim dividends as net profit hits 21 billion shillings. Here is the Cooperative Bank of Kenya. Shareholders are set for the first ever interim dividends of 1 shilling per share after the renders net profit for the 9 months ended September rose to 12.3% to 21.56 billion shillings. That is a story published on page 6 of this Business Daily newspaper. And also on top of this newspaper, they're talking about the exchange rates. That is they have remained constant, and that is the shilling to USD. On Wednesday date was that was on 12th November 2025. It remains to be to 124.2, that is 129, sorry, 0.24. And on Thursday, yesterday, it was 129.25. That is a margin of negative 0.01%. That is the exchange rate in percentage. And at least, remember, even the KCCB Catholic bishops, they mentioned that the shilling is now okay. They have no issue with it. Elsewhere, on page 9, the NSSF's investment in Mau Summit Toll Road could redefine how Kenya's pension savings are harnessed for growth. And that is a story talking about the National Social Security Fund investments, and they are daring out to say what is happening on the Mau Summit Toll Road, that they think that it's going to redefine how Kenyan's pension savings are harnessed for growth. That's a story published on page 9. And elsewhere, lastly, on page 3, something that we call the boss talk. Dosi kazungumza pale. Tony Elumela has spoken out, and you can grab the newspaper, that is the Business Daily newspaper, so that you can be able to know on what the boss said more so every week on Friday. That is when you can be able to find such stories on Business Daily. And that is all for from the People's Day, that is the Business Daily, sorry. And the stories that have been given a headline is that SportPesa risks freeze in owner's fresh battle. Remember, on the other side that we saw on the Standard newspaper, maybe to do a recap, is that the truth to power, when the church is now telling the government where it has gone wrong and what it should be considered to be changed to ensure that Kenyans are getting exactly what they are demanding, more so in the development and also in the health sector, not forgetting education and other issues that are affecting the common mwananchi. Elsewhere in the Daily Nation, also it's about the Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops, led by Most Reverend Anthony Muheria. They gave their scorecard yesterday on what the government has done and also what they have not done well and what is required to be done, and more so they highlighted on the faith-based health facilities that may be shut down due to NHIF debts and also the SHA debts. And also in the same newspaper, we saw that Mama Ida Odinga now takes the first break after the first short break after the death of Raila Molo Odinga. And also elsewhere on the People's Daily, the battle for crowds begin, where we asked about does the cheers translate to votes, and also the tour of the president to Ukambani, where some of the leaders have said that maybe Ukambani at the crossroads, that's because of power royalty and also politics of change. And the Star newspaper, we saw that Ruto daring foray into opposition tough in two-term bid, and also we saw the ODM bigwigs arrive in Mombasa for the 20 anniversary celebrations. And on that is Taifa Leo, we saw Serikali Kibogoyo, that it doesn't talk whenever there are people or rich people are suffering or happy people are suffering in different areas, more so referring to Tanzania, Uganda, and also Uarabuni there. As well as, of course, that is what we had in store for you this morning in the newspaper review. And I'm taking a short break. After the short break, I'll be letting you know what had transpired yesterday on the trending stories as well as on the morning report. I'm Jeff Nyakundi, and my director is Lucas Ouma. I had mentioned earlier around that he's so happy this morning, and I don't know why. Maybe he will tell us why he's happy. Of course, it's good to be happy, but when I saw him and also when I talked to him, he was so happy, the way I've never seen him being. So maybe later on he will be telling us. So we are taking a short break. Remember to follow the conversation on our social media platforms. That is Ndizi TV Africa, and as well as having a conversation through our WhatsApp number 0711199890, and as well as our SMS number, that is 21575. I'm Jeff Nyakundi. I'll be coming back shortly as we take you through the morning report.
What's up, my beautiful people? They call me Ems Manvoke, and this month on the 28th, Ndizi TV Africa pamoja na Camel Park wanakuletea chill party and talent show auditions live hapa ndani ya Camel Park, na kiingilio ni shilingi 200 peke yake per head. Alafu saidia kama umeweza kulipa that 200 Kenya shillings, unapata free swimming. In the same time, kama ni mzazi kwa pale nyumbani, unaweza leta watoto wako wakuja waweze kujienjoy. Tuko na bouncing castle, tuko na water balloons, tuko na mamba, tuko na tortoise. In the same time, unaweza kuwa na fun as a family. So don't forget, mark your calendar on this month, date 28, ambayo itakuwa na Friday. Tutakuwa na show babu kubwa. Show yenyewe itakuwa ni chill party and talent show audition humu ndani ya Camel Park, the bride of Kisii.
Eastlands, yo, we had the mic. Westlands, yo, we had the mic.
Being healthy is a strive everybody longs for. Human beings will spend their time online searching remedies for conditions challenging them. Some will go to medical facilities seeking medical help, while others will use herbal means to keep their health hazards. I am Chemutai Kirui, and every week on Afya Yetu, we open the doors for life-changing conversations from wellness and nutrition, preventing diseases, managing chronic illnesses, and even mental health. We bring expert advice, real-life stories, and practical solutions that touch every part of your life. Join me, Chemutai Kirui, on Ndizi TV Africa Afya Yetu Health Show every Friday from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. and be part of the change.
Unatazama Ndizi TV Africa.
Je, wewe ni mmiliki wa aina ya gari aina ya Alto, Probox, Harrier, V8 na Lexus? Jipatie brake pads kwa bei nafuu hivi sasa. Vilevile oil filters kwa gari aina ya Toyota na vilevile Subaru. Ili upokee popote ulipo, piga simu kupitia nambari 0739318606.
Unatazama Ndizi TV Africa.
Je, wajua kwamba mapishi si kazi tu ila ni sanaa? Njoo tujifunze mapishi mapya katika runinga ya Ndizi TV Africa. Hapa ndipo tunapika, tunajifunza, tunakula, tunasherehekea na kucheka kidogo. Ungana nami kila siku ya Jumanne kuanzia mida ya saa 2 usiku katika kipindi chetu cha Pishi Bora. Hapa ndipo tutakuwa tunapika vyakula mbalimbali ambavyo vitakuwa vinanukia, kama vile mchuzi wa nyanya, tunapika kuku kitunguu, tunapika wet fry na vyakula vingi zaidi. Njoo tujifunze pamoja na tulete ubunifu jikoni katika kipindi chetu cha Pishi Bora. Ungana nami Ronelfa katika kipindi cha Pishi Bora, tulete ubunifu jikoni.
Unatazama Ndizi TV Africa.
Mteja mpendwa, ni wakati sasa wa kujinyakulia aina ya flash disk kuanzia 8GB, 16GB na vilevile 32GB. Vilevile earphones, wireless headsets, unajipatia wireless microphones tofauti kwa bei nafuu. Yale ambayo unafaa kuyafanya hivi sasa ni kwamba unapiga simu kupitia nambari 0739318606. Yote unayapata kwa bei nafuu popote ulipo.
Naam, ni wakati wa kusikiza sauti inayobeba maono, busara na hali halisi ya kisiasa humu nchini. Karibu katika kipindi Sauti ya Uongozi. Hapa tutakuwa tunazungumza na viongozi kujieleza katika hali halisi ya yale ambayo waliahidi kuyafanya, na bila shaka kukupa wewe mtazamaji nafasi ya kuzungumza kama mwananchi wa kawaida kwa yale ambayo waliahidi kuyafanya katika maendeleo humu nchini.
But after making the payment, they delete it. Now, what kind of accounting is that? Because you are supposed to maintain the details of whoever you paid so that the figures can balance.
Watu ambao wanafanyiwa sio kwamba ni wale wananchi wote ambao wako pale wanafanyiwa ile funding. Ni makundi haswa. Na zile pesa kufika katika makundi ikamfikia mwananchi yule ambaye alikuwa anachangiwa akapata kiasi kidogo cha pesa. Ina maana kule kuzurula, ule msururu wa kuzunguka inakuwa ni kama ni null and void kwa mwananchi, anaiona kwamba analagaiwa.
If you graduated in 2016 and somebody graduated in 2020, the 2016 was to be given priority to get that job. But nowadays, members of parliament have taken over. They get the letters, they dish them in funerals, others they sell them to the highest bidder.
Kila wiki tutakuletea mahojiano ya kina na viongozi kutoka sekta mbalimbali na jamii kwa ujumla. Je, unajiuliza maswali ni kipi ambacho kinajiri nyuma ya pasia la uongozi? Basi hapa ndipo unapaswa kukaa mkao wa kutazama na kusikiza. Usikose Sauti ya Uongozi kila siku ya Jumamosi kuanzia saa 1 jioni hadi saa 3 jioni ndani ya Ndizi TV Africa, nami Jeff Nyakundi. Sauti ya Uongozi. Tunazungumza, tunajenga, tunabadilika.
Unatazama Ndizi TV Afrika.
Kila jamii hapa Afrika, yani chini ya jua duniani, ina chimbuko lake. Ndani ya Ndizi TV Afrika, katika kujua utamaduni wako, ndani ya Utamaduni Afrika, tutaangazia kila jamii, tukianza na jamii ya Abagusi ambayo iko chini ya Bantu, jamii ya Mkamba, jamii ya Waluo. Vile vile tutaangazia kuhusiana na jamii ya Masai. Tutataka kujua ni mbona jamii inaenzi, ama ni mbona kila jamii inaenzi mila na tamaduni zake, na vipi hizi mila na desturi zina umuhimu gani katika utamaduni. Utapata mpaka leo jamii ya Masai inaenzi sana ufugaji wa mifugo. Kuna jamii ambazo zinaendeleza mila ambazo zimepitwa na wakati, mfano ukeketaji wa wasichana, kitu ambacho jamii nyingi hazienzi kamwe, kukeketa wasichana. Haya yote kuhusu mila na desturi na utamaduni ni ndani ya kipindi Utamaduni Afrika katika runinga unayoienzi Ndizi TV Africa, kila siku ya Alhamisi saa 2 usiku. Kipindi kinaletwa kwako na Mwita Peter. Usikose.
Unatazama Ndizi TV Afrika.
Every Wednesday night, join me for powerful stories and informative stories that will touch your heart and also will be informative on Ndizi TV Africa, where we will be having able and ambitious. Join us as we empower voices that need to be heard and also encourage the inclusive voices in the society, one story at a time. We educate, we inspire, we break barriers and remind the world that disability is not inability. Tune in to Ndizi TV Africa every Wednesday as from 8 p.m. as we celebrate and empower the able and ambitious in our society. Ndizi TV Africa, beyond Africa.
Unatazama Ndizi TV Afrika.
Katika maisha ya kila siku, changamoto za kisheria sikosekani. Iwe ni haki zako kazini, masuala ya ndoa, mikataba mbalimbali, hata kwenye ardhi. Karibu kwenye Sheria na Jamii, kipindi kinachochambua masuala ya kisheria kwa undani zaidi. Hapa tutakuwa na wachambuzi wa sheria wa kusaidia wewe mpenzi mtazamaji kuelewa ni kipi kile sheria ya Kenya inasema.
Ni vizuri utumie sheria ambazo zimewekwa, the laws that are in place to help you control the properties even when you are dead.
Kwa mob justice, wale ambao wanahusika katika mob justice wanaweza kuletwa mbele ya mahakama na wakafunguliwa mashtaka, either iwe ni a murder charge or a manslaughter charge.
Kila siku ya Jumapili kuanzia saa 2 hadi saa 3 usiku hapa ndani ya Ndizi TV Africa, nami Jeff Nyakundi. Sheria na Jamii, tukielewa sheria tunajenga jamii yenye haki.
Black Market Records.
What's up my good people, it's your guy Aleka Alex. Na nitakuwa nikiwaletea show moto, show fire, show konki, show mambo bad ndani ya rininga yako number 1 Ndizi TV Africa. Tune in every Monday to Friday as from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Usikose, hii na itakuwa kari. Kuja tupige dance, tupige gossip, tupige gumzo. Au sio?
Kanogo masonsesi ofumita bufumisa ti masonsesi kugambe mafonsesi ozambe
tenda wema pewa tako kwangu ni clean so butafagia kwako ni kuje ndogo juu utakula kushoto usitake kuona na my dirty version.
Tune in every Monday to Friday as from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Kuja tukule doba, kuja tucheze doba, kuja tupige dance, tupige gossip gumzo. Hii itakuwa kari, au sio? Awo, don't miss.
Unatazama Ndizi TV.
And welcome back. After that is a short break. It's 40 minutes past 7 a.m. as we keep on informing you what is going on. And as I earlier mentioned, that you keep following us on our social media platforms, that is on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and as well as X as in Ndizi TV Africa. And also remember, you can keep the conversation going via our WhatsApp number 0711 199890. That is where we can be able to keep the conversation, and as well as can be able to see some of the messages that are getting in. I will be reading them later on. And also don't forget that you can also keep the conversation going via our SMS number, that is 21575. As we keep on and as we start our morning report from the presidential visit, that is to Kampani. As we start is that President William Ruto yesterday presided over the launch of a major roads and improvement project in Kitui County, and the initiative seeks to expand the tarmac key routes aimed at unlocking economic potential and also easing transport within the region. The president was accompanied by the Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki and the Labour and Social Protection CSR Violet Mutua. They said that the project underscores his government's commitment to equitable development across the counties.
And William Ruto has officially launched the construction and upgrading of tarmac roads in Kitui County. Speaking during the launch, President Ruto said he has fulfilled his promise that the livelihoods of all Kenyans will be respected by investing in the construction of markets, affordable housing, and dormitories across the country.
Na tukasema tutakuwa na mpango mkubwa ambayo italeta ajira kwa vijana, lakini tutajenga manyumba, tutajenga masoko, tutajenga hostels. Mimi nimekuja kuwaambia watu wa Kitui, serikali ya Kenya tumetoa 15 billion shillings kupitia kwa housing fund, ambayo sasa tutawajengea nyumba 6,000, tujenge soko 11, tujenge hostels ya watoto wa hapa 6,000, tuhakikishe ya kwamba hii Kitui inabadilika. Kati ya hiyo soko 11 ambayo tunajenga Kitui, moja yao ni hii ya hapa kwenu ya Kamuongo.
Deputy President Kithure Kindiki thanked President Ruto for the various development projects being implemented in Kitui County, noting that these initiatives have begun transforming the lives of residents and boosting economic activities.
Tunakushukuru kwa sababu hii barabara ilikuwa imekwama for more than 8 years. Na leo tumekuja kusindua kusikanishwa kwa hii lami yetu kutoka hapa Kamugongo mpaka Kandwiwa, na mumesikia rais amesema after that atatusukumia pale Kyuso iende mpaka Seikuru na baadaye ifike Usweni, ifike pale kwangu nyumbani. Ndio kuwe na shortcut ya kufika pale kwangu nyumbani.
On his part, the Cabinet Secretary Dr. Alfred Mutua said that citizens no longer wish to remain in the opposition, emphasizing that enough is enough and that they now want to work together with the government to bring development to the nation.
Sisi hatutaki kuwa kwa opposition. Ukiangalia historia yetu, Paul Ngei alikuwa kwa serikali. Ukiangalia pia Kitili Mwendwa kwa serikali, Jendrondolo kwa serikali, Mulumutisia kwa serikali, Gai Muli kwa serikali, hata Philip Manando alikuwa kwa serikali. Sasa sisi tunafanya nini huko kwa opposition? Hii tumedanganywa kwa muda mrefu, but enough is enough. Enough is enough. Hawa vijana wote hapa, hawa watu hapa wamechanuka macho. Hii siasa ya political poverty strategy inaitwa Vomwe na Vayetwa, hiyo tumeachana nayo.
Reporting from Ndizi TV Africa, I'm your own Oro Nelfa.
Elsewhere, yesterday, the Orange Democratic Movement has confirmed that, it confirmed Oburu Odinga as its interim party leader following a national governing council meeting. Oburu, who accepted the position amid chants of unity, vowed to protect the party from what he termed as external interference. And the event also saw several top officials, including governors Abdulswamad Nasir and Arati, sworn into new leadership roles as ODM reorganizes its national structure.
I, Dr. Oburu Oginga, swear by the Almighty God that I will at all times uphold the values and principles of the Orange Democratic Movement Party Constitution, the Constitution of Kenya, the rule of law, and the administration of justice, that without fear or favor and truly discharge my duties as party leader of the Orange Democratic Movement Party, so help me God.
I, Simba Arati, swear by Almighty God that I will at all times uphold the values and the principles of the Orange Democratic Movement Party Constitution, the Kenya Constitution, the rule of law, and administration of justice, that without fear or favor I will and truly discharge my duties as the deputy party leader of the Orange Democratic Movement Party. So help me God.
If Nasir swear by the Almighty God that I will at all times uphold the values and principles of the Orange Democratic Movement Party Constitution, the Constitution of Kenya, the rule of law and the administration of justice, that without fear or favor I will and truly discharge my duties as the deputy party leader of the Orange Democratic Movement Party, so help me God.
I, Gladys Atieno Nyasuna Wanga, swear by the Almighty God that I will at all times uphold the values and principles of the Orange Democratic Movement Party Constitution, the Constitution of Kenya, the rule of law, and the administration of justice. That without fear or favor, I will and truly discharge my duties as national chairperson of the Orange Democratic Movement Party, so help me.
Elsewhere, the Council of Governors is pushing for a review of laws barring deliveries at Level 2 health facilities under the Social Health Authority. Governors warn that the restrictions have discouraged women from giving birth in health centers, threatening gains made in maternal and newborn health. They say many rural matters rely solely on dispensaries, and that excluding them from coverage puts thousands of lives at risk.
It's a very important facility for us. Dispensary, the border of Ethiopia in Mandara North or in Mandara West is Agagan and Nairobi Hospital of Mandara. The issue of SHA should not be politicized. I think that's where the president's intention is very clear. The universal health care is one of the things that we really looked forward to. But how we are managing it need to be looked at it seriously.
You can fake any other disease, but I don't see anyone faking pregnancy. Because pregnancy has a product or a visible, which is a baby and a happy mother. Because they say that it is in the law, and I believe that law was not made, man was not made for the law. It is a law that was made for man.
We cannot allow the lives of our newborn and our mothers to be just mere statistics. We want to discuss them one by one and ensure that we take responsibility right from the top and ensure that we are able to bring down this. I tend to believe that the gap has been the platform that we are launching today.
Elsewhere, the head of public service, Felix Kosgei, is urging government agencies to enhance efficiency in managing public funds and prioritize service delivery. Speaking during the launch of the 2025-2026 performance campaign, Kosgei said lessons from a 2-year pilot program would guide the re-energization of state-owned entities, and he emphasized accountability and result as central pillar of the government reforms agenda.
Whether online, at service counters, or in field operations, you are the human and institutional face of government. The performance of each entity represented here is, in truth, the performance of government itself. Across the breadth of our public institutions, the evidence gathered from the self-assessment tool administered by my office revealed both commendable progress and persistent weaknesses. The exercise was not intended to indict, but to illuminate and provide a factual mirror through which we may confront the realities of our governance architecture.
And as we move on, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission says it will closely monitor the upcoming police recruitment exercise to ensure fairness and transparency. The CEO, Abdi Mahmoud, is warning against bribery and favorism, urging parents and guardians not to engage in corrupt practices. The commission says any individual found culpable will face full legal action as the government seeks to restore integrity in the security sector.
Conmen posing as facilitators emerge promising shortcuts for a fee, which in many times end up in extortion of vulnerable and unsuspecting members of the public. In this regard, the Commission reminds the public that bribery in police recruitment has the potential to undermine merit, competence, and accountability, with consequences that extend beyond the individual recruit to the society that they eventually serve when they finally finish their training and are deployed in various functional areas to discharge police. We will continue to create a hostile environment for the corrupt, not only through investigations for the purposes of prosecution, but also by vigorously pursuing public funds that have been paid under illegal contracts, including tenders that have been awarded to individuals and entities through fraud and a conflict of interest. That crackdown on forgery of academic certificates in the public service, EACC will not only recommend prosecution of the academic cheats, but will also file civil proceedings to recover all the salaries and the benefits earned by the individual over whatever period that they have worked using.
Elsewhere, the security officials in Embu have summoned the 4 bloggers accused of issuing online threats against the former deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua. The summons follow a letter from Gachagua to the Inspector General of the police raising a concern over his safety ahead of planned tour of Mbeere North. The County Commissioner, Jack Obuo, says investigations are ongoing and warns that anyone found culpable will face prosecution.
Na wakizidi kuonyesha kwamba bado wanaendelea na hizo matamshi, then tutachukua hatua vile inatakikana, kwa sababu hatutaki uchochezi kwa wananchi wetu. Tumekuwa na amani na tunaendelea kuwa na amani, na tutahakikisha kwamba ile kipindi imebaki wiki 2 hatuna uchochezi katika uchaguzi ama ile kipindi cha uchaguzi Mbeere North.
As we move on, informing you on the current reports from different areas, our regions, and also nationwide, not forgetting the international, is that we are taking a break. As we get back, I will be informing you more from Migori County as panic gripped the residents of Ayego, that is a village in Uriri constituency, over what is termed as insecurity issues. Don't go too far. Remember that you can be able to engage with us on our social media platforms, that is in Dizzy TV Africa on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, X, as well as Instagram. And not forgetting that you can be able to talk to us via SMS number 21575 and keep it in Dizzy TV Africa.
What's up, my beautiful people? They call me Ems Manvoke, and this month on date 28 Dizzy TV Africa pamoja na Camel Park wanakuletea chill party and talent show auditions live hapa ndani ya Camel Park, na kiingilio ni shilingi 200 peke yake per head. Alafu saidia kama umeweza kulipa that 200 Kenya shillings unapata free swimming. In the same time, kama ni mzazi kwa pale nyumbani, unaweza leta watoto wako wakuja waweze kujienjoy. Tuko na bouncing castle, tuko na water balloons, tuko na mamba, tuko na tortoise. In the same time, unaweza kuwa na fun as a family. So don't forget, mark your calendar on this month date 28 ambayo itakuwa na Friday. Tutakuwa na show babu kubwa. Show yenyewe itakuwa ni chill party and talent show audition humu ndani ya Camel Park, the bride of Kisii.
Being healthy is a strive everybody longs for. Human beings will spend their time online searching remedies for conditions challenging them. Some will go to medical facilities seeking medical help, while others will use herbal means to keep their health hazards. I am Chemutai Kirui, and every week on Afya Yetu, we open the doors for life-changing conversations from wellness and nutrition, preventing diseases, managing chronic illnesses, and even mental health. We bring expert advice, real-life stories, and practical solutions that touch every part of your life. Join me, Chemutai Kirui, on Dizzy TV Africa Afya Yetu Health Show every Friday from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. and be part of the change.
Unatazama Dizzy TV Africa.
Je, wewe ni mmiliki wa aina ya gari aina ya Alto, Probox, Harrier, V8 na Lexus? Jipatie brake pads kwa bei nafuu hivi sasa. Vilevile oil filters kwa gari aina ya Toyota na vilevile Subaru. Ili upokee popote ulipo, piga simu kupitia nambari 0739318606.
Unatazama Dizzy TV Africa.
Je, wajua kwamba mapishi si kazi tu ila ni sanaa? Njoo tujifunze mapishi mapya katika runinga ya Dizzy TV Africa. Hapa ndipo tunapika, tunajifunza, tunakula, tunasherehekea na kucheka kidogo. Ungana nami kila siku ya Jumanne kuanzia mida ya saa 2 usiku katika kipindi chetu cha Pishi Bora. Hapa ndipo tutakuwa tunapika vyakula mbalimbali ambavyo vitakuwa vinanukia, kama vile mchuzi wa nyanya, tunapika kuku kitunguu, tunapika wet fry na vyakula vingi zaidi. Njoo tujifunze pamoja na tulete ubunifu jikoni katika kipindi chetu cha Pishi Bora. Ungana nami Ronalfa katika kipindi cha Pishi Bora, tulete ubunifu jikoni.
Unatazama Ndizi TV Afrika.
Mteja mpendwa, ni wakati sasa wa kujinyakulia aina ya flash disk kuanzia 8GB, 16GB na vilevile 32GB. Vilevile earphones, wireless headsets, unajipatia wireless microphones tofauti kwa bei nafuu. Yale ambayo unafaa kuyafanya hivi sasa ni kwamba unapiga simu kupitia nambari 0739318606. Yote unayapata kwa bei nafuu popote ulipo.
Naam, ni wakati wa kusikiza sauti inayobeba maono, busara na hali halisi ya kisiasa humu nchini. Karibu katika kipindi Sauti ya Uongozi. Hapa tutakuwa tunazungumza na viongozi kujieleza katika hali halisi ya yale ambayo waliahidi kuyafanya, na bila shaka kukupa wewe mtazamaji nafasi ya kuzungumza kama mwananchi wa kawaida kwa yale ambayo waliahidi kuyafanya katika maendeleo humu nchini.
But after making the payment, they deleted. Now, what kind of accounting is that? Because you are supposed to maintain the details of whoever you paid, so that the figures can balance.
Watu ambao wanafanyiwa sio kwamba ni wale wananchi wote ambao wako pale wanafanyiwa ile funding, ni makundi haswa. Na zile pesa kufika katika makundi ikamfikia mwananchi yule ambaye alikuwa anachangiwa akapata kiasi kidogo cha pesa. Ina maana kule kuzurula, ule msururu wa kuzunguka inakuwa ni kama ni null and void kwa mwananchi, anaiona kwamba analagaiwa.
If you graduated in 2016 and somebody graduated in 2020, the 2016 was to be given priority to get that job. But nowadays, members of parliament have taken over. They get the letters, they dish them in funerals, others they sell them to the highest bidder.
Kila wiki tutakuletea mahojiano ya kina na viongozi kutoka sekta mbalimbali na jamii kwa ujumla. Je, unajiuliza maswali ni kipi ambacho kinajiri nyuma ya pasia la uongozi? Basi hapa ndipo unapaswa kukaa mkao wa kutazama na kusikiza. Usikose Sauti ya Uongozi kila siku ya Jumamosi kuanzia saa 1 jioni hadi saa 3 jioni ndani ya Ndizi TV Africa, nami Jeff Nyakundi. Sauti ya Uongozi, tunazungumza, tunajenga, tunabadilika.
Unatazama Ndizi TV Afrika.
Kila jamii hapa Afrika, yani chini ya jua duniani, ina chimbuko lake. Ndani ya Ndizi TV Africa, katika kujua utamaduni wako ndani ya Utamaduni Afrika, tutaangazia kila jamii tukianza na jamii ya Abagusi ambayo iko chini ya Bantu, jamii ya Mkamba, jamii ya Waluo. Vile tutaangazia kuhusiana na jamii ya Masai. Tutataka kujua ni mbona jamii inaenzi ama ni mbona kila jamii inaenzi mila na tamaduni zake, na vipi hizi mila na desturi zina umuhimu gani katika utamaduni. Utapata mpaka leo jamii ya Masai inaenzi sana ufugaji wa mifugo. Kuna jamii ambazo zinaendeleza mila ambazo zimepitwa na wakati, mfano ukeketaji wa wasichana, kitu ambacho jamii nyingi hazienzi kamwe, kukeketa wasichana. Haya yote kuhusu mila na desturi na utamaduni ni ndani ya kipindi Utamaduni Afrika katika runinga unayoienzi Ndizi TV Afrika, kila siku ya Alhamisi saa 2 usiku. Kipindi kinaletwa kwako na Mwita Peter. Usikose.
Unatazama Ndizi TV.
Now, as we keep moving on, is that panic has yesterday crippled residents of Ayego village in Uriri constituency in Migori County following a series of violent robberies targeting border operators. The latest attack left one rider critically injured after being slashed by unknown assailants, and the police have launched investigations as residents call for increased patrol and tighter security in the area.
Residents of Ayego village in Uriri constituency, Migori County, have raised concerns over the rising insecurity in the area, particularly targeting motorcycle taxi operators or border riders. The locals report that increase in violent robberies, mostly occurring at night when border riders are returning home from work, with attackers often armed with dangerous weapons. Their outcry comes just a day after one rider was ambushed by unknown assailants, slashed with machetes on various parts of his body and left fighting for his life.
Tunaanza na chief wa area kabla tuenda kwa wenye siasa. Tunaanza na chief wa Ego na tunataka uchunguzi ifanywe, wenye walifanya hiki kitendo wote wakamatwe, iletwe ndio sisi wenye tuko hapa wakaji wa hapa Ego tujue wakina nani walifanya hii na wakina nani walipanga hiki. Cause mtu asitoka mahali na aanze kukata wenzake na panga bila mpangilio kabambi ilifanywa.
I want to condemn with the strongest term possible what really happened the other day.
Condemning the brutal attack, the riders said cases of robbery and assault have been on the rise, yet police officers have not taken firm measures to restore security in the area. They lamented that despite repeatedly reporting the incidents to the authorities, no suspect have been arrested so far, leaving villagers living in fear.
Tuko na shida hapa Ego kwa sababu security ya Ego sio mzuri. Tumekuwa na waizi wakiiba pikipiki, wakienda tu na hakuna hatua yenye serikali imechukua. Juzi pia wamekatakata mtu hapa, ako hospitalini, hakuna hatua hata wenye wanawasuku wajakamata hata mtu mmoja. Kwa hivyo maisha ya wanabiashara wa Ego hata pamoja na watu wa pikipiki iko pali pabaya. Wamejaribu kulia hii mambo ifikie serikali, hakuna hatua yenye serikali imechukua.
Watu wa Ego wanalia kila mara, wenye biashara wanalia kila mara. Mtu anaibiwa anapeleka kesi zake mbele ya polisi. Si inafanywa, anapiga ripoti, hakuna uchunguzi inafanywa, inaenda tu hivyo. Pikipiki mingi zimesibiwa hapa. Hakuna uchunguzi imesafanywa, hata mtu mmoja imesakamatwa.
They are now calling on the police department and the security agencies to speed up investigations and bring the perpetrators of violent robberies to book and ensure a lasting peace and security in the village is restored.
Tunaomba Madam DCC pamoja na OCS na kamati yake yote waangalie mambo ya Yego. Tumewasia haki, mutii hiyo sheria, mtusaidie kama watu wa biashara pamoja na watu wa bodaboda.
We condemned this and we ask our area MCA, area member of parliament, tunawaomba kabisa watu na security wafanye uchunguzi, hawa jamaa wakamatwe, waletwe, ndio sisi pia tunakuwa na ile furaha tumejua wenye walifanya hizi kitendo.
I want to urge the security organs, the DCC, the DCI, the police service to do what is done, what should be done according to the law, and ensure that this matter comes to an end.
Lennox Odede reporting for Ndizi TV Africa from Migori County.
As we keep moving on, is that Homa Bay Town Member of Parliament Peter Kaluma is urging the Senate to fast-track the Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, which was recently passed by the National Assembly. Kaluma says that the registration provides critical safeguards for children born through assisted reproduction while outlawing commercial surrogacy, and he also appealed to senators to retain key clauses that protect minors from exploitation, organ trafficking, and as well as abuse.
Let me caution the Senate that they should remember the bill after the Senate will return to the National Assembly. If any changes will be made so long as we are in that parliament, which will interfere with these fundamentals around the protection of the child and the protection of this process from abuse, we will, of course, again amend them, which will risk sending the bill to mediation where it may be lost. I want to ask that we don't do anything that is unprincipled, that may secure that this law is lost. The law, as is now, is good.
Elsewhere, child rights officers have raised serious concerns over the growing trend of resolving child-related cases outside the formal courts. The officers say such informal settlements, often done through community elders or family negotiations, have continued to undermine this pursuit of justice for minors, especially in sensitive cases involving abuse, neglect, or custody disputes. They warn that these off-the-record resolutions deny children the protection and also redress, that is the redress guaranteed under the law, leaving many victims vulnerable and without proper follow-up from the relevant authorities.
Ile changamoto tuko nayo ambayo inafanya kesi za watoto zisikamilishwe kwa muda ambao unafaa. Unapata kwamba kuna wale ambao wanaitilafiana na kesi za watoto. Haswa sana zile kesi za kunajisi watoto. Utapata kuna wale ambao wanafanya koti za huko nje, kangaroo courts, ambayo haifai. Yote ambayo atapatikana akifanya hizo kangaroo courts, ajue anakiuka sheria na atachukuliwa hatua kali. Yale ambayo ningependa kuwaelezea ni kwamba wanakiuka sheria na si haki hata mbele ya Mungu kuitilafiana na kesi ya mtoto ambaye ni mtu mnyonge. Kuweka kangaroo court kwa kesi za watoto haifai, inakiuka sheria na inazuia watoto kupata haki yao. Kwa hivyo kesi ya watoto ni lazima, haswa sana zile kesi za kunajisi watoto, ni lazima zifike kotini. Na sababu gani tunapatia hizi kesi kipaumbele? Ni kwa sababu watoto ni mojawapo ya watu ambao wanachukuliwa kama watu wanyonge kwa jamii, na kwa hivyo tunaona kesi zao zinafaa zisikizwe kwa haraka.
Tumeanzisha alternative justice systems. Hizi ni njia mbili kuu ambazo zina encouragewa pia wananchi waweze kutumia wakati ambapo wanataka kupata hiyo haki kwa haraka.
Unapata kama kesi za watoto ambazo ni za maintenance, wakati mume na mke wako pamoja wamekuja kesi kotini, zinaadhiri sana familia na pia zinaadhiri watoto. Hivyo ndivyo koti ikaona ni vizuri hao wakuje, wanaweza kuwasaidia katika mambo ya maridhiano na mambo mengine ambayo itakuwa.
Elsewhere, as we wrap it up in the morning report before getting to the trending stories, is that the African Union Commission has criticized remarks by the United States President Donald Trump accusing Boko Haram of targeting Christians in northern Nigeria. AU Chairperson Mahmoud Ali Yusuf dismissed the comments as misleading, saying Muslims are also among the victims of the militant groups. Speaking at the United Nations in New York, Yusuf urged the U.S. to avoid statements that could inflame tension and misrepresent the complex realities on the ground.
We have issued a communique making clear that what's going on in northern part of Nigeria has nothing to do with the kind of atrocities we see in Sudan or in some part of eastern DRC. I think the complexity of the situation in northern Nigeria should, push us think twice before, declaring such or making such statements. The first victims of Boko Haram are Muslims, not Christians. The first victims. And I'm saying it with documented references.
Wind it up, this is that we have some good news for the TV and also some of our presenters at Ndizi TV Africa that have been nominated for the Gega Awards for 2025. And one of us, Jacinta Nyabeta, has been nominated as the TV Presenter of the Year, and the voting is on through the Gega Awards website, and you can be able to get there, and also that is a vote for her as the TV Presenter of the Year, and her code is 446601. And elsewhere, the TV also has been nominated as the TV Station of the Year, and as you scroll down on the Gega Awards website, you can also vote for Ndizi TV Africa, and our code is 446704. And elsewhere, the Morning Bus Show has been also nominated as one of the breakfast TV show of the year, and also Morning Bus of Ndizi TV Africa, and our code is 447502. 447502. You can be able to vote for us, and as I am getting more information about this, then I'll be informing you on the way you can be able to do the voting online, and even using your USSD code for us to be voted in. And just reminding you again, or repeating the same, that Morning Bus has been nominated as one of the breakfast show of the year, Morning Bus of Ndizi TV Africa, and also the code is 447502, and that is on Gega Awards 2025. Not forgetting that Ndizi TV Africa also has been nominated as the TV Station of the Year, and our code is 446704, and also one of our own, Jacinta Nyabeta, has been nominated as the TV Presenter of the Year, and the code is 446601, and you can be able to visit the website of Gega Awards, and then you can be able to do justice to those nominees as we move on. Don't go too far. I'm taking a short break. Once back, I'll be taking you through the trending stories.
What's up, my beautiful people? They call me Mpasho, and this month on the 28th, Ndizi TV Africa pamoja na Mpasho wanakuletea chill party and talent show auditions live hapa ndani ya Mpasho, na kiingilio ni shilingi 200 peke yake per head. Alafu saidia kama umeweza kulipa that 200 Kenya shillings, unapata free swimming. In the same time, kama ni mzazi uko pale nyumbani, unaweza leta watoto wako wakuja waweze kujienjoy. Tuko na bouncing castle, tuko na water balloons, tuko na mamba, tuko na tortoise. In the same time, unaweza kuwa na fun as a family. So don't forget, mark your calendar on this month, date 28, ambayo itakuwa na Friday. Tutakuwa na show babu kubwa. Show yenyewe itakuwa ni chill party and talent show audition humu ndani ya Mpasho, the bride of Kisii.
so we had to like
Being healthy is a strive everybody longs for. Human beings will spend their time online searching remedies for conditions challenging them. Some will go to medical facilities seeking medical help, while others will use herbal means to keep their health hazards. I am Chimutai Kirui, and every week on Afya Yetu, we open the doors for life-changing conversations from wellness and nutrition, preventing diseases, managing chronic illnesses, and even mental health. We bring expert advice, real-life stories, and practical solutions that touch every part of your life. Join me, Chimutai Kirui, on DZTV Africa Afya Yetu Health Show every Friday from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. and be part of the change.
Unatazama Ndizi TV Afrika.
Je, wewe ni mmiliki wa aina ya gari aina ya Alto, Probox, Harrier, V8 na Lexus? Jipatie brake pads kwa bei nafuu hivi sasa. Vilevile oil filters kwa gari aina ya Toyota na vilevile Subaru. Ili upokee popote ulipo, piga simu kupitia nambari 0739318606.
Unatazama Ndizi TV Afrika.
Je, wajua kwamba mapishi si kazi tu ila ni sanaa? Njoo tujifunze mapishi mapya katika runinga ya Ndizi TV Africa. Hapa ndipo tunapika, tunajifunza, tunakula, tunasherehekea na kucheka kidogo. Ungana nami kila siku ya Jumanne kuanzia mida ya saa 2 usiku katika kipindi chetu cha Pishi Bora. Hapa ndipo tutakuwa tunapika vyakula mbalimbali ambavyo vitakuwa vinanukia kama vile mchuzi wa nyanya, tunapika kuku kitunguu, tunapika wet fry na vyakula vingi zaidi. Njoo tujifunze pamoja na tulete ubunifu jikoni katika kipindi chetu cha Pishi Bora. Ungana nami Ronalfa katika kipindi cha Pishi Bora, tulete ubunifu jikoni.
Unatazama Ndizi TV Afrika.
Mteja mpendwa, ni wakati sasa wa kujinyakulia aina ya flash disk kuanzia 8GB, 16GB na vilevile 32GB. Vilevile earphones, wireless headsets, unajipatia wireless microphones tofauti kwa bei nafuu. Yale ambayo unafaa kuyafanya hivi sasa ni kwamba unapiga simu kupitia nambari 0739318606. Yote unayapata kwa bei nafuu popote ulipo.
Naam, ni wakati wa kusikiza sauti inayobeba maono, busara na hali halisi ya kisiasa humu nchini. Karibu katika kipindi Sauti ya Uongozi. Hapa tutakuwa tunazungumza na viongozi kujieleza katika hali halisi ya yale ambayo waliahidi kuyafanya, na bila shaka kukupa wewe mtazamaji nafasi ya kuzungumza kama mwananchi wa kawaida kwa yale ambayo waliahidi kuyafanya katika maendeleo humu nchini.
But after making the payment, they delete it. Now, what kind of accounting is that? Because you are supposed to maintain the details of whoever you paid so that the figures can balance.
Watu ambao wanafanyiwa sio kwamba ni wale wananchi wote ambao wako pale wanafanyiwa ile funding, ni makundi haswa. Na zile pesa kufika katika makundi ikamfikia mwananchi yule ambaye alikuwa anachangiwa akapata kiasi kidogo cha pesa. Ina maana kule kuzurula, ule msururu wa kuzunguka inakuwa ni kama ni null and void kwa mwananchi, anaiona kwamba analagaiwa.
If you graduated in 2016 and somebody graduated in 2020, the 2016 was to be given priority to get that job. But nowadays, members of parliament have taken over. They get the letters, they dish them in funerals, others they sell them to the highest bidder.
Kila wiki tutakuletea mahojiano ya kina na viongozi kutoka sekta mbalimbali na jamii kwa ujumla. Je, unajiuliza maswali ni kipi ambacho kinajiri nyuma ya pasia la uongozi? Basi hapa ndipo unapaswa kukaa mkao wa kutazama na kusikiza. Usikose Sauti ya Uongozi kila siku ya Jumamosi kuanzia saa 1 jioni hadi saa 3 jioni. Ndani ya Ndizi TV Africa, nami Jeff Nyakundi. Sauti ya Uongozi. Tunazungumza, tunajenga, tunabadilika.
Unatazama Ndizi TV Africa.
Kila jamii hapa Afrika, yani chini ya jua duniani, ina chimbuko lake. Ndani ya Ndizi TV Africa, katika kujua utamaduni wako, ndani ya Utamaduni Afrika, tutaangazia kila jamii, tukianza na jamii ya Abagusi ambayo iko chini ya Bantu, jamii ya Mkamba, jamii ya Waluo. Vile vile tutaangazia kuhusiana na jamii ya Masai. Tutataka kujua ni mbona jamii inaenzi ama ni mbona kila jamii inaenzi mila na tamaduni zake, na vipi hizi mila na desturi zina umuhimu gani katika utamaduni. Utapata mpaka leo jamii ya Masai inaenzi sana ufugaji wa mifugo. Kuna jamii ambazo zinaendeleza mila ambazo zimepitwa na wakati, mfano ukeketaji wa wasichana, kitu ambacho jamii nyingi hazienzi kamwe, kukeketa wasichana. Haya yote kuhusu mila na desturi na utamaduni ni ndani ya kipindi Utamaduni Afrika katika runinga unayoienzi Ndizi TV Africa, kila siku ya Alhamisi saa 2 usiku. Kipindi kinaletwa kwako na Mwita Peter. Usikose.
Unatazama Ndizi TV Africa.
All right, welcome back again as we get you through the trending stories from what is happening and also what has been going on our social media platforms and internationally and even also locally. And as we kickstart our trending stories from that is from yesterday's stories that yesterday Kalonzo Musyoka, actually yesterday night, Kalonzo Musyoka and Musalia Mudavadi attended the birthday celebration of His Majesty King Charles III, hosted by the British High Commission in Nairobi. And in what we saw on photos, the two duo were so happy and also engaging in the conversation. And actually, from what people are saying, that doubting while loving which comes first, you know, some of the comments that we can be able to see from that conversation, or from what we saw from Kenyans saying that do you know that the king has 2 birthdays, and that is how they twisted the King James version. Okay, what Kenyans are saying on social media. And also Mudavadi promises Kalonzo 2032, I will pick you to be my running mate, of course, from what people saw. And also maybe it is the fact that there is some insinuation that has been online on social media. Actually, on the other day, that is on Wednesday, there was a newspaper, that the Star newspaper was reporting that now the president is haunting Eugene Wamalwa and Kalonzo Musyoka, and somebody here was saying that from what I can see is the conversation on how a Wiper Party leader can be joining the government, and also somebody saying that tumewazoea vile wanavyofanya, there is nothing less that we are expecting than them working together. Anyway, some of the comments from what transpired yesterday night when the that is the CS for Foreign Affairs and also the Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi and Kalonzo Musyoka met during the birthday celebration of His Majesty King Charles II, and hosted by the British Commission in Nairobi County. Elsewhere, a report that has been indicated out from 2025 Ethnic and Diversity Audit by the National Cohesion and Integration Commission has revealed that 5 of the Kenyan's largest ethnic groups, that is the Kikuyu, the Kalenjin, the Luo, and the Luo, the Luya, and also the Kamba, holds over 70% of all positions in state corporations, while 8 communities, that is the Kisii, Meru, and the Mijikenda, are among them, occupy 88% of the roles, leaving 12% to the remaining 37 ethnic groups. And the audit found that these communities occupy 86% of the position of the CEO positions, with the Kikuyu, Kalenjin, and the Luo and the Luya controlling nearly 2/3 of the top leadership roles, and similar patterns exist in public universities, where the 5 dominant groups hold 85.75%, that is 0.7% of the positions. And elsewhere, the report of the commission also recorded that the gender imbalance, with men occupying 62% of the state corporation positions and women holding 22% of CEO roles. And also the commission warned that the ethnic concentration and unequal representation threaten the national unity and also the social cohesion. And some of the reaction that we saw is that people are saying that there's similar, or there's some communities that are rallying behind what they are doing, and also they are they are sticking to what is called that ni mtu wetu, and we cannot be able to ask you questions, and no option out than us being in that positions. And elsewhere, of course, from the morning report and also the yesterday news, that the ODM party delegates officially being swear in Siaya Senator Oburu Odinga as the new party leader at Port City in Mombasa. And also I'll be able to give you the list of those leaders that who were chosen to be leading the ODM party in actually the ODM party as it moves on. And elsewhere, the deputy minority leader Robert Mbui was suspended from parliament for 5 days. That is after trying to grab the mess from parliament. And he has been suspended from attending the sittings in Parliament for 5 days, and the main reason is for trying to get away or to grab the mess that is in the National Assembly. Elsewhere, as I promised, that the ODM Party National Governing Council approved the appointment of Senator Oburu Odinga to be the party leader of ODM. And remember, before that is after the death of Raila Amolo Odinga, he was picked as the acting party leader of ODM. And yesterday, after the NGZ meeting from the ODM party, they agreed that Oburu Odinga to be the party leader for ODM. And elsewhere, on the same National Governing Council of ODM party, Abdulswamad Nasil was chosen to be the first deputy party leader, followed by Simba Arati, who is the governor for Kisii County, to be the deputy party leader number 2. Then number 3, Godfrey Ososi to be the deputy party leader number 3, and elsewhere Gladys Wanga, the national chairperson for ODM, Dr. Ariko Namoit, the vice chairperson, Tienda Amolo, the vice chairperson, and Ruth Odinga to be the deputy organizing secretary or the party organizing secretary. Then member of parliament Loza Buyu to be the secretary of the political affairs, and this is they assumed the office to ratification by the National Delegates Convention, that is NDC, and that is what transpired yesterday as they kicked off the celebrations of ODM at 20 in Mombasa. And there's a lot of programs that is planned for today and also tomorrow as they go on up to the last day of celebrating it. And elsewhere, the Governor Anu Waiguru yesterday visited Mama Ida Odinga at her current residence, alongside the representative members of the county executive and the county assembly, and also the Daughters of Kenya, that is Mountain chapter, where she serves as the patron, and also with the pickup full of donations to Mama Ida Odinga in his Nairobi, that is current residence. And that is one way of saying pole to Mama Ida for losing his husband, the former prime minister, and also the former party leader of ODM. Elsewhere, in Nairobi County, the county of Nairobi has banned the use of Probox vehicles for meat delivery to the city market, and also the county directs that only approved traceable vehicles be used to for transportation from portals in order to prevent disease transmission and also promote hygiene during the festive season. And elsewhere, they mentioned that they have also orders that the closure of car wash or operation outside slaughterhouse and carried out sanitation and fumigation exercise in Bulma Market yesterday. That is a directive from the Nairobi County that no more use of Probox in delivering meat into city markets, and as well as they banned the car washes alongside or besides or outside the slaughterhouses in Nairobi, as they did the fumigation as well as sanitation in Burma Market. And of course, elsewhere is that the President Ruto committed himself to construct the Seikuru Road, which heads to the former Vice President Kalonzo Musyoka's home, and he promised that is going to be done. And from what I'm seeing, the comments of social media is that when they're saying that when the president becomes so good and he knows what his hunting outside there to get the signing of Kalonzo Musyoka into the government. And then they saw that sometimes it's petty Kamba votes, they are rocked for him. Anyway, we'll be waiting and see what will be transpiring and what will be going on as we wait and see the political ways, which way out. And elsewhere, from the Kiambu County is that Kimani Wamatangi, who is the governor of Kiambu County, yesterday implemented a program to distribute free Hass avocado seedlings to local farmers, and also this initiative is the key part of his administration's socio-economic empowerment plan to boost agricultural productivity and also improve the livelihoods and increase the food security in the region, as well as part of the empowering farmers across Kiambu. The county government distributed 10 avocado trees to each farmer, further promoting agricultural growth and economic empowerment in the area. And thus the county government is also collaborating with the national government to build 500 million agricultural aggregation center in Waruhiu, Githunguri. And this center is intended to provide the value addition for various farm products, including avocado. And that is a good gesture of what is happening through the county government, and also encouraging farming that is more so of fruits, including the avocado. Elsewhere, the Kenya Power Board chairperson Joy Mudivo attributed that high bills in Kenyan households to careless energy, that the Kenyans are misusing the energy, and claims that TV on standby consume up to 30% of their full power. And that seems to be true to some extent when it comes to usage of energy that is in our homes and also where we live. Elsewhere, the findings of the Commission of Human Rights and Good Governance, that is CHRAGG, regarding the circumstances surrounding the 2025 general elections in Tanzania and the subsequent outbreak of tension in selected regions of Tanzania. The primarily findings from emerging investigations assessments suggest that the post-election tension was far from the spontaneous eruption, but rather a situation opportunistically exploited by the several unrelated groups seeking to ride the heightened political tension. And also collectively, these dynamics point to a complex interplay of political resistance, misinformation, and also the covert external influence, according to the area investigative summaries. That is the report from the finding from the Commission of Human Rights and Good Governance in Tanzania of what has been happening in the area since the election of 2025, that is October 29th. Elsewhere, the members of parliament have lifted the 7-year freeze of new power purchase agreement, the PPAs, paving the way for the new plant to prevent an electricity generation crisis in Kenya, where they report that the Kenya has not signed a new PPA since 2018. That is due to concerns about steep prices from power producers, and also the new conditions of that is on PPAs include that the capping wholesale at 0.07 bound, that is 9.04 per kilowatts, to make electricity more affordable for business and households. Elsewhere, the PPA can be dominated either in Kenyan shilling or the US dollars, providing flexibility for both locally and international investors. And elsewhere, that power purchase contracts will now include a clause ensuring that tariffs are reviewed periodically to reflect market conditions and also cost structure. Elsewhere, the PPAs must be signed with the clear commitment to address any power shortages that might arise during the implementation phase. That is what the members of parliament have lifted. That is from the 7-year freeze of the new power purchase agreement, and they are paving the way for the new plants to prevent an electricity generation crisis in the country. That is some of the trending stories from social media platforms, some of the ones that I sampled out, and maybe the other point that, or the other thing that is trending is that the Kathiani Member of Parliament, Robert Mbui, has urged young Kenyans to move beyond politics on their phones by registering as voters. And also Mbui is advises the youth that they should turn out on election day to vote, warning that low youth participation is undermining the political influence in the country. And he says that social media talk is fine, but if you cannot vote, the online narrative won't help build or change Kenya. And some of the factual facts in it, that as much as if you cannot just register as a voter, and if you can't take it up as a mandate that you have been given as a countryman or country money in the here in the country, then you have to partake it, because it's something that you need to exercise you as a person in the country. Some of the comments and also some of the trending stories as I turn to those who have been following since we started our show, and when we are almost wrapping it up for today morning, maybe to get through some of the comments that have been sent through our social media platforms, that is Facebook as Ndizi TV Africa, and as well as our YouTube channel, that is Ndizi TV Africa. And I can be able to see who is this. Omosoribege Susu from Nakuru County, following one-on-one. Thank you for being in. Maybe let me just check on our WhatsApp. Those who have been following us on WhatsApp and those who have been sending the comments and also their sentiments, and also our WhatsApp number is 0711 19 98 90. That is our WhatsApp number. That is 0711 19 98 90. As I go through your comments that you have sent through our WhatsApp number as it is loading, just waiting to check it out. And you can be able to keep the conversation for our social media platforms as Ndizi TV Africa. Also, not forgetting that you can be able to talk to us via our SMS number, that is 21575. And as I can be able to see here, is that who is this? As we started the conversation this morning, I can be able to see from Nakuru County, this is Omosoribege Susu, aka Dennis Kerandi, from Nakuru City Salams Club. I'm in following the morning bus show. Thank you so much, Dennis Kerandi from Nakuru. Also, I can be able to see who is this. Okay. Has not mentioned his name. That is the number ending with 07. That is 974. Also the 650. Can be able to see you. Thank you for following and Ndizi TV Africa. As we move on, just reminding you that you can be able to keep the conversation going through our social media platforms. That is all of them, from TikTok, Instagram, X, Facebook, not forgetting YouTube as Ndizi TV Africa. And also you can be able to text us via our SMS number 21575, not forgetting our WhatsApp number 0711 19 98 90. That's where we can be able to to do the conversation this morning. As I wrap it up from what has been trending, of course, I've informed you. Remember that there is the ODM at 20 celebrations undergoing in Mombasa County, and there will be a dinner where former members of ODM have been invited, including the president, William Samoei Ruto, the former president, that is Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and other leaders who were in ODM earlier on before they left to other parties. And we saw that the member of, that is some member of parliament mentioning that the Pentagon team will be getting into the celebrations as it will be graced by the President William Samoei Ruto. in that dinner, and then there is a lot of issues that are expected to be addressed. And remember that ODM already, it has their leaders in place, that is led by the party leader now, who took over from the late Raila Amolo Odinga, that is the senator for Siaya, Dr. Oburu Oginga is now the party leader, and assisted by the governor of Mombasa County to be the deputy party leader, Paul Simbarati, and also Sosti Godfrey, as those are the deputy party leaders of the ODM party. And also the president is ongoing with his trip in Ukambani, and we are expecting him today to continue launching some of the projects in the area as we will be moving on and preparing some news for you. That is Mpasho Saa Saba. Leo hii weekendi tutapatana pale, na bila shaka taarifa zetu za ndizi saa moja pale jioni kabisa. Now be with us as I wrap it up, and of course earlier on, you know, we started and my director was so happy in the morning, and he told me it's good to be happy because it's a Friday, and he told me that he was listening to his favorite music in the morning, and you know, all we can say that music is the is it that we say the medicine of the soul. So that is what Mr. Lucas Ouma was enjoying in the morning, and that is why he was so happy, and he's so happy. He's telling me that he has planned some good music for you this morning as I wrap it up there for that is a morning bus show. And with yet we have the conversation, we can keep the conversation going until later on in the day and on our social media platforms, as well as our WhatsApp number and also SMS number. And the SMS number is 5175. That is SMS number 21575, and also our WhatsApp number, that is 0711 19 98 90, and also our social media platforms as Ndizi TV Africa. Keep it in Ndizi TV Africa. And also I mentioned earlier on that Ndizi TV Africa has been nominated as one of the Ndizi, that is as one of the best the TV stations of the year by the Gega Awards. We'll be sharing more information about the same. And also the Morning Bus has been nominated as one of the breakfast shows of the year. That is Morning Bus, and also one of our own, Jacinta Nyabeta, has also been nominated as one of the TV presenters of the year. And you can visit the website of Gega Awards, where you can be able to follow the prompts and vote in as we prepare and share those codes in a few. Thank you for being with us this morning. This is Ndizi TV Africa. I'm Jeff Nyakundi as I end up there, and also my director has been Lucas Ouma. Bye bye. See you later on the day.
DJ Tofaz.